Chapter 4266. The third demon sword's speed was too fast. In just a short while, he had already led Lu Ming and the 9 divine dragons across an unknown number of galaxies. They were already far away from the Heavenly Palace's prison. At this time, even if the other party wanted to pursue them, they would not be able to find them. At this time, the third demon sword stopped with Lu Ming. Look! After stopping, the third demon sword waved his hand, and a 3-dimensional picture appeared in the void. In a corner of this picture, there were specks of starlight that looked very dazzling. Apart from this corner, the other areas were all gray and hazy. It could be seen that the places with starlight only occupied about 1% of the volume. The gray areas occupied 99% of the volume. This is the map of the current primitive universe, and the universe ruins. The places with starlight are the current primitive universe, and the gray areas are the universe ruins. The third demon sword said. Lu Ming and the 9 divine dragons were dumbfounded. The universe ruins are so big? Lu Ming asked tongue-tied. Yes, in fact, the universe ruins and the current primitive universe are the total area of the entire universe. The current primitive universe only occupies 1% of the area. The other 99% are all universe ruins. That is to say, the universe of the last era was truly vast and boundless. It was 100 times larger than the current untainted universe. According to the information we have now, the universe of the last era did not use planets as a unit of measurement like the present one. At that time, there was only one continent in the entire universe, and it was called the Great Desolation Continent. It was a huge and boundless continent, and there were countless creatures living on it. Later on, there was a world-shaking war, and the vast and boundless continent was destroyed, turning into countless small continents that drifted to various places in the universe. Some of the continents evolved into different planets and gave birth to a new era, which is the current primitive universe. But most of the territories did not evolve. They still maintain the appearance of the last era, which is the current universe ruins. The third demon sword continued to explain. Lu Ming and the 9 divine dragons were completely dumbfounded. The amount of information was so huge that it subverted their worldview. They needed time to digest it slowly. In the universe of the previous epoch, there was only one continent called the prehistoric continent. Then the prehistoric continent was blown apart and turned into fragments. A small portion of the fragments evolved into planets, which were the current prehistoric universe. The countless planets in the primitive universe were actually evolved from some of the fragments of the primitive continent, and it only occupied 1% of the total area. How big was the primitive continent of the last era? It was beyond the limit of their imagination. After a long while, Lu Ming and the other divine dragons reacted. According to the exploration of the predecessors, the last era was the real golden age of cultivation. There were countless experts like the sand of the Ganges. Naturally, there were also countless treasures left behind, which attracted countless top experts to explore. Of course, the universe ruins are also very dangerous. I won't tell you the details. You can understand it in detail when you arrive at the universe ruins. Let's continue our journey. After saying that, the third demon sword waved his hand again. A wave of energy swept up Lu Ming and the 9 divine dragons, and took them to continue flying towards the universe ruins. By the way, Lu Ming, the copper coffin you took out before seemed to be very extraordinary. I couldn't see through it. How did you get it? The third demon sword asked as they flew. He was very curious about the copper coffin. I got it in an ancient place. I don't know its origin. I guess it's the coffin of a primitive divine spirit, the one who attacked us before. Lu Ming said. No. The third demon sword shook his head and said, I don't think it's that simple. You should have noticed that there was a thread behind the primitive divine spirit. It seemed to be controlled. It's very strange. The third demon sword frowned and fell into deep thought. After a while he said, in short, I feel that this copper coffin is very extraordinary. I can't see through it. You have to keep it well. It may be of great use in the future. Okay. Lu Ming nodded. Of course, he would keep the purple copper coffin. Ever since he obtained the purple copper coffin, it had saved his life many times. Of course, he would keep it well. Lu Ming, Tell me about you and Junior Sister. Where did she reincarnate to? How did you meet? Junior Sister used to be very arrogant. How did she fall in love with you? If you don't want others to hear, you can send me a message. The third demon sword changed the topic from the copper coffin to Lu Ming and Xian Yinqing. The word gossip was written in his eyes. Lu Ming was speechless. In the end, Lu Ming told the story of him and Xian Yinqing. The third demon sword was filled with emotion. He said that Lu Ming and Xian Yinqing were young, but they had experienced a lot. According to what you said, I guess Junior Sister should be cultivating in the ruins of the universe. There are some unique cultivation conditions in the ruins of the universe, and her progress will be very fast. The third demon sword path. So, we can go to the ruins of the universe and see Shaoqing? Lu Ming was overjoyed. He didn't expect that the information about Xian Yinqing that he couldn't find would come from the mouth of the third demon sword. I'm not sure. I can only say that it's very likely. Anyway, we'll know when we get there. The third demon sword path. The third demon sword speed was too fast. As time passed, the third demon sword seemed to be slowly recovering, becoming stronger and faster. 2 days later, they had crossed an unknown number of galaxies and star fields. Gradually, the starry sky became desolate. Previously, they could see a planet with a casual flight. Later, they often flew a long distance and couldn't see a planet. Later, it was simply pitch black. There was nothing. There were no life planets, resource planets, or even stars. The void fell into darkness. The third demon sword told them that they had reached the edge of the current primitive universe. After a while, they would reach the ruins of the universe. Sure enough, not long after, the void lit up again. Then, Lu Ming and the 9 divine dragons opened their eyes. They saw several huge continents floating in the void. These continents were very vast, no smaller than a life planet. Moreover, the continents themselves were emitting traces of light. Chapter 4267. The light they saw was emitted by these continents. They flew closer, and saw that the continents were barren. There seemed to be no living creatures. Apart from a few special life forms, there are almost no other life forms in the entire universe ruins. Moreover, there are no planets in the universe ruins. There are only fragments of continents. These few fragments are still considered small. Some of them are boundless, hundreds or even thousands of times larger than this. Let's continue moving forward. Our people are still deeper in the third demon sword path. Third senior brother, who do you mean by our people? Lu Ming asked. The 9 divine dragons were also curious. However, the 9 divine dragons were only at the celestial Varch realm. In front of the third demon sword, they were juniors among juniors. Although they had doubts in their hearts, they did not dare to ask. Now that Lu Ming asked them, they immediately pricked up their ears to listen. Now the Heavenly Palace has occupied the Heavenly Palace. The Heavenly Palace is the ruler of the primitive universe. Our people naturally refers to those who oppose the Heavenly Palace and fight against the Heavenly Palace. We call ourselves the Heaven Destroyer. Back then, we were defeated. We were no match for the Heavenly Palace, so we retreated to this place and used its geographical location as a defense. The third demon sword path. They did not stop. They chatted as they flew. They could see continents passing by them one after another. Lu Ming also found that the void here was filled with a special energy. This energy gave off a very ancient feeling. It was different from divine qi, but it could also be absorbed and refined. However, it was not as easy to refine as divine qi. It would take more time. In the blink of an eye, another few hours passed. We're almost there. The third demon sword's eyes lit up. He was obviously very excited. He had been suppressed by the Heavenly Palace for a long time, at least dozens of stellar years. Now that he was finally back, it would be strange if he was not excited. Lu Ming also looked ahead. There were many continents floating in the void in front of them. At a glance, there were no less than 100 continents. The area of each continent was not smaller than a planet in the primitive universe. Some of them were even larger. These continents were not arranged randomly. They seemed to be arranged according to a certain rule. Moreover, there was an incomparably huge ancient tree on each continent. These ancient trees were so huge that they extended into the void like the world tree. They could be seen even from afar. There was an ancient tree on each continent. These ancient trees were emitting green light and resonating with each other to form a huge array. Is Xiaoqing here? Lu Ming was also looking forward to it. Ever since Xian Yanqing left, they hadn't seen each other for many years. He had been working on his cultivation, and he had been wanting to see Xian Yanqing. Were they finally going to see each other? No, our people are not in this place, but in several places. This way, we can take care of each other and avoid the situation of being wiped out by the Heavenly Palace. The Tang family's forces are still deeper in the universe ruins. Third Demon Sword explained. Oh, let's go. Lu Ming couldn't wait. But the next moment, Lu Ming's eyes suddenly widened. This was because in another direction, he actually saw a planet, an incomparably huge planet. There were no planets in the universe ruins. How could there be a planet here? It was many times bigger than ordinary planets. This is the dragon's mother planet. Lu Ming exclaimed. Yes, he was too familiar with the aura of this planet. It was the dragon's mother planet. Lu Ming didn't expect to see the dragon's mother planet here. Immediately, he saw another strange thing near the dragon clan's home planet. Yes, it looked like a ball from afar. A hazy light shroud enveloped the entire world. That was the primordial divine lake world. The dragon's mother planet, and the primordial divine lake world. Lu Ming smiled. Ao Qian and Fei Huang said that they would push the dragon's mother planet and the primordial divine lake world to the universe ruins. Third senior brother, let's set off later. I'm going to meet some acquaintances. Lu Ming said. Although he wanted to see Xian Yanqing immediately, Mid-Autumn Moon, Pantheon, and his past self were all in the primordial divine lake world. They were in seclusion. If they knew that he was captured by the Heavenly Palace after coming out, how worried would they be? So it wouldn't be too late to meet Xian Yanqing after seeing Mid-Autumn Moon and the others. Well, I also have some acquaintances here. It won't be too late to set off in a few days. Are you going back to the dragon's mother planet? The third demon sword nodded. The last sentence was directed at the 9 divine dragons. At this moment, the 9 divine dragons' eyes were completely fixed on the dragon's mother planet. At this moment, the eyes of the 9 peak emperor god divine dragons were brimming with tears. Their bodies were trembling slightly due to excitement. The dragon's mother planet was their hometown. They had been enslaved by the Heavenly Palace for dozens of stellar years. Now they finally saw their hometown. Senior, we're going back to the dragon's mother planet. One of the divine dragons nodded. Go. The third demon sword waved his hand. Immediately, the 9 divine dragons thanked the third demon sword and flew toward the dragon's mother planet. When they flew into the dragon race's mother planet, they disappeared. The 10,000 dragons seal outside the dragon race's mother planet did not stop them. Lu Ming also revealed a smile. With the addition of 9 divine dragons at the peak of the God Emperor realm, the dragon clan's strength would recover even faster. Lu Ming, go. I'm going to meet an old friend. The third demon sword stepped out and flew toward the group of continents. In the blink of an eye, he disappeared. Lu Ming, on the other hand, flew toward the primordial divine lake world. The primordial divine lake world was shrouded in a light shield. This was the world wall. But now several parts of the world wall were open. Lu Ming flew over. There were people guarding the door, but he could see people coming and going. Some people flew in and some flew out. Lu Ming guessed that the living beings of the primordial divine lake world and the group of continents should be interacting with each other. Lu Ming flew over and entered the primordial divine lake without any inspection. After all, the people of the Heavenly Palace could not mix in here. And the people here were his own people. I wonder if Autumn Moon and the others have come out of seclusion. Let's go to the primordial divine lake first. Lu Ming flew toward the primordial divine lake to see if Autumn Moon and the others had come out of seclusion. Lu Ming had just approached the shore of the primordial divine lake when he heard a roar. Damn the Heavenly Palace. How dare you kidnap my brother? I'll flatten the Heavenly Palace sooner or later. The voice was filled with anger. Lu Ming knew it was the voice of the myriad deities. From the tone, it seems like the myriad deities just learned about me. Did they just come out of seclusion? Lu Ming guessed. Chapter 4268. Lu Ming's guess was right. At this moment, Chiao Autumn Moon Myriad God and his past body had just come out of seclusion. The moment they came out, they learned that Lu Ming's present body had been captured. They were instantly enraged, and Myriad God let out an angry roar. On the side, Chiao Autumn Moon and his past body had ugly expressions. Young master, will your present body be all right? Chiao Autumn Moon asked Lu Ming's past body, her eyes filled with worry. After all, whether it was his past body or present body, it was still Lu Ming. How could she not be worried? Don't worry. I can sense that my present body should be fine. If my present body had fallen, I would be able to sense that he is still alive, Lu Ming's past body said. This made Chiao Autumn Moon and Myriad God heave a sigh of relief. At this moment, the expression of Lu Ming's past body suddenly changed, revealing a look of pleasant surprise. I can sense that my present body is very close to this place. It's already nearby. What? On the side, Chiao Autumn Moon, Myriad God, and the others from Primordial Divine Lake were stunned. Lu Ming's present body had arrived and was not far from here? No way. Wasn't Lu Ming's present body captured by the Heavenly Palace? It was almost impossible to escape after being captured by the Heavenly Palace. How could Lu Ming's present body appear nearby? Chiao Autumn Moon Myriad God, and the others were dumbfounded. As for his past body, he had already looked in a certain direction. Although his past body and present body could not communicate telepathically, they could still sense each other. As long as they were within a certain distance, they could sense each other. At this moment, Lu Ming's present body was walking through the air, his gaze meeting with his present body. Ha ha ha, as expected of me, Lu Ming. No matter what kind of danger you encounter, you can always escape successfully. Lu Ming's past body laughed heartily, looking smug. Chiao Autumn Moon, Myriad God, and the others also looked in the direction of Lu Ming's present body. Their eyes were filled with pleasant surprise. Young master. Chiao Autumn Moon hurriedly flew towards his present body. Myriad God, his past body, and the others from Primordial Divine Lake also flew towards Lu Ming. Young master. We just came out of seclusion when we heard that you were captured by the Heavenly Palace. Are you all right? How did you get out? Chiao Yu sized Lu Ming up and asked a few questions. The myriad deities and his past body also revealed looks of curiosity. It's like this. Immediately, Lu Ming gave a brief account of what had happened. They were secretly amazed. They hadn't thought that Lu Ming would experience so many things in just a few hundred years after being captured by the Heavenly Palace. At the same time, Lu Ming was also looking at Chiao Autumn Moon, Myriad God, and his past body. He was surprised. The cultivation of these three people had skyrocketed. Needless to say, Myriad God's cultivation was even more unfathomable. Chiao Autumn Moon's cultivation had also broken through a few layers. She was definitely above the third great supreme god layer. Lu Ming guessed that Chiao Moon had most likely reached the fourth great supreme god layer. A few hundred years ago, Chiao Moon's cultivation was only at the first great supreme god layer. It could be seen how fast Chiao Autumn Moon had progressed in the past few hundred years. In a few hundred years, she had advanced by 3 layers. This speed was simply unheard of. However, Chiao Autumn Moon's improvement wasn't the greatest. The greatest improvement was his past body. Before entering Primordial Divine Lake, his past body was only at the 7th Godly Emperor layer. Now not only had he broken through the Great Supreme God layer, but he had also reached the 3rd Great Supreme God layer. This breakthrough was simply terrifying. One could imagine how much the eggshell and egg white left by the Primordial Divine Spirit had helped them. Lu Ming was really happy. Myriad God was his friend, Chiao Autumn Moon was his woman, and his past body was himself. The stronger they were, the better. Unfortunately, my cultivation hasn't broken through yet. How can I break through? Lu Ming's present body sighed in his heart. He had encountered a huge bottleneck. He had tried his best, but he still couldn't break through this bottleneck. This gave him a headache. It seems like I have to go and ask Senior Fei Huang. Senior Fei Huang should be on the Dragon Clan's mother planet, right? Lu Ming thought. They chatted for a while. Lu Ming's present body said that he wanted to go to the Dragon Clan's mother planet to ask Fei Huang some questions. Follow me. the past body said, and then stepped out, heading towards the dragon clan's mother planet. Needless to say, the present body understood the meaning of the past body. The past body was very familiar with the dragon clan's mother planet. If he wanted to find Fei Huang, he naturally needed the past body to lead the way. Soon, they entered the dragon clan's mother planet and headed in a direction. Soon they came to a lake. The lake wasn't big, but the lake water was as clear as a mirror. There were lotuses growing on the lake. These lotuses were very large. Some of them were several meters in diameter. On one of the lotuses, there was a figure sitting cross-legged, like an otherworldly fairy. This person was Fei Huang. Is it the real body or the soul incarnation? It should be the soul incarnation. Lu Ming muttered in his heart. At this moment, Fei Huang opened her eyes and smiled. Lu Ming, you're here? She didn't seem surprised to see Lu Ming's present body. It seemed that Lu Ming being able to escape from the heavenly palace was within her expectations. Lu Ming was lucky to escape. Lu Ming cupped his fists and said, "Tell me, how did you escape?" Fei Huang asked with a smile. "It's like this." Lu Ming told her what had happened. "So it's the third demon sword. That boy was suppressed by the heavenly palace for dozens of years. I hope he can control his temper." Then, she looked at Lu Ming and said, "You must have many questions for me this time, right?" "Yes, Senior Fei Huang. After I reached the top of the 9th godly emperor layer, I encountered a bottleneck. I tried many times, but I couldn't break through. I don't know why. Senior, please tell me," Lu Ming said. "Taboo body. It's indeed hard to break through the limit of the divine emperor realm, because the experience of others is useless. You can only rely on yourself. However, it's not too difficult for a divine emperor to break through to the divine emperor realm. Let me have a look." Fei Huang got up, stepped into the air, and landed beside Lu Ming's present body. With a wave of her hand, a beam of energy enveloped Lu Ming. Then, Fei Huang's eyes emitted a dazzling glow, as if she wanted to see through Lu Ming. With one look, a trace of fluctuation appeared on Fei Huang's originally calm face. "Boy, you've cultivated so many ancient secret skills?" Fei Huang looked at Lu Ming speechlessly. "Is there a problem with cultivating ancient secret skills? Didn't you say that the more ancient secret skills I cultivate, the better it will be for me in the future?" Lu Ming said. He had a bad feeling. "Yes, the more forbidden body you cultivate, the better it will be for you. However, you've cultivated too many," said Fei Huang. Lu Ming. Chapter 4269. Lu Ming was speechless. "Weren't you the one who said that the more secret techniques one cultivated, the better? Why are you blaming me for cultivating too many now?" Lu Ming was full of resentment. "Yes, the forbidden body. The more secret techniques one cultivates, the better. The more secret techniques one cultivates, the stronger the power of the forbidden force will be. Moreover, it can be used as a reference in the future, and it will be easier for one to walk their own path. However, I never expected that you would be able to find so many ancient secret techniques. You have already mastered more than half of them." Fei Huang was speechless. How did she know that Lu Ming was so abnormal that he could find so many ancient secret techniques? Many ancient secret techniques had been lost. It was difficult to find even one, but Lu Ming had found more than 1,800 of them. Fei Huang expressed that she was also very helpless. "Senior Fei Huang, since things have come to this, how can I break through?" Lu Ming asked helplessly. "If you want to break through now, there's only one way, and that is to rely on yourself," Fei Huang said. Lu Ming was speechless. "What you need to do now is to use the existing secret techniques as your foundation, and create your own unique secret technique. Then with this secret technique, you can break through the current bottleneck and break through to the divine emperor realm," Fei Huang said. "Create my own path and create my own secret technique?" Lu Ming muttered. "That's right. According to my original estimation, you would need to reach peak Emperor God at the very least and break through to the Divine Master realm before you need to take this step. However, because you have mastered too many secret skills and ancient secret skills, this process has been brought forward by an entire realm. However, once you've created your own path, your combat strength will skyrocket and you'll gain a lot," Fei Huang said. Senior, thank you for your guidance. I'll definitely do it, Lu Ming said with a determined gaze. He had enough confidence in himself. Moreover, he had the primordial godstone. Back then, the Lord of the Primordial Divine Court relied on the primordial godstone to create 3,000 ancient secret techniques. This showed how mysterious the primordial godstone was. By relying on the primeval godstone and the secret arts he had mastered, it shouldn't be too difficult for him to forge his own path, right? Don't be too confident. If you want to walk your own path, the difficulty will be beyond your imagination. For example, I have already forgotten all the secret techniques that I have mastered in the past. I only have my own path in my heart. Fei Huang warned seriously. Lu Ming's heart shook. If he wanted to walk his own path, did he need to forget all the secret techniques? He had mastered more than 1,800 ancient secret techniques, and tens of thousands of ordinary secret techniques. It would be too difficult for him to forget all of them. As if seeing Lu Ming's worry, Fei Huang continued. Of course, you don't have to worry too much. When you first start walking your own path, you don't have to forget all your secret techniques. Only when you reach the later stages will you have to forget all your secret techniques. Only when you have your own Tao and your own path will you be able to reach the grand accomplishment stage. Lu Ming heaved a sigh of relief. All right, regarding the matter of cultivation, just proceed in this direction. Do you have any other questions? Fei Huang said. Senior Fei Huang, I want to know why the people here, I mean all of you, want to go against the Heavenly Palace? Lu Ming asked. He had always been curious about this question. Why were there so many people who wanted to become the Heavenly Palace's archenemy? As if they would not rest until one of them was dead. Was it because the Heavenly Palace ruled the universe domineeringly, and the other weaker races wanted to resist? Lu Ming felt that the reason was not that simple. I knew that you would ask this question, Fei Huang said. Then, she pondered for a while as if she was thinking about how to phrase it. In the primitive universe, the original races and forces were far more than what they are now. Let's not talk about other things. Let's talk about the top 10 races. In the distant past, the top 10 races were not like what they are now. The top 10 races have changed several times. Do you know why those powerful races disappeared? Fei Huang asked. Could it be that they were destroyed by the Heavenly Palace? Lu Ming said. He thought of the Sky Heart race. That's right. Fei Huang nodded. Why does the Heavenly Palace want to destroy these races? Is it because they are afraid that these races are too strong and will threaten the Heavenly Palace's rule? Or are these races not willing to submit to the Heavenly Palace's rule? Lu Ming asked. No. Let me tell you, the Heavenly Palace's strength is much stronger than you think. No matter how strong these races are, they will not be able to threaten the Heavenly Palace's rule. As for not submitting to the Heavenly Palace's rule, there is one reason, but that is not the main reason. The main reason is that the Heavenly Palace wants to extract the bloodline of these races to refine some kind of treasure, Fei Huang said. What? Lu Ming was shocked. This was shocking news, far beyond Lu Ming's imagination. The Heavenly Palace wants to refine some kind of treasure or cultivate some kind of skill. They need the bloodline of a powerful race, and not just one or two bloodlines, but almost the entire race's bloodline. Therefore, the Heavenly Palace usually encourages the races in the universe to compete with each other. Only through competition can they grow. This is like raising poisonous insects. When a race grows to an extremely strong level, it is time to harvest. The Heavenly Palace will find a reason to kill most of the living beings of this race and extract their bloodline. In the end, the races in the universe are just the Heavenly Palace's captive prey. That is why so many people resist the Heavenly Palace and want to overthrow the Heavenly Palace. From the beginning, the Heavenly Palace, the archaic celestial court, to me, your father-in-law, we have all discovered the Heavenly Palace's secret. That is why we want to overthrow the Heavenly Palace. Only by overthrowing the Heavenly Palace can we save the races in the universe. Fei Huang explained in more detail. Lu Ming's heart was in turmoil, and he couldn't calm down. He never thought that there would be so many secrets behind this. The Heavenly Palace's methods could be said to be extremely cruel. Why did they have to sacrifice one powerful race after another in order to cultivate some kind of treasure or skill? This kind of method made one's hair stand on end. Perhaps the Sky Heart race and the Dragon race were exterminated because of this. The Heavenly Palace was the real cancer in the universe. After a long while, Lu Ming finally calmed down. Senior, why do you say that the taboo body is the natural enemy of the Heavenly Palace? Could it be that the treasure that the Heavenly Palace wants to refine needs the taboo power? Lu Ming asked. He couldn't help but think this way because the Heavenly Palace's experts had captured him and wanted to extract the taboo power. No. Fei Huang shook her head and said, that's because as the power of the taboo grows stronger and stronger, it will oppress the Celestial Palace. It will make the people of the Celestial Palace grow weaker and weaker. Thus, the taboo bodies and the Celestial Palace are mortal enemies. Lu Ming was stunned. There was actually such a thing? Why was that? Lu Ming immediately asked. This time, Fei Huang was silent. You're tuning in to the Li Mei's Wuxia Whispers YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.